Hi guys, I'm going to show you today the pattern that I use to make these backpacks for either American Girl dolls or any other 18-inch doll. They should all fit most of the 18-inch girls pretty well, and probably some of the larger dolls as well. And I don't think it'd be too hard to scale them down if you're looking to do this for a smaller doll. The pattern is free on the Many Small Friends website, and I will make sure to put the address in the show notes there down below so that you can see where you can go ahead and download that. But it's a free pattern and it has all the information that you'll need to make the backpacks as far as measurements and so on. I wanted to do this little introduction video to tell you a little about the different fabrics and show you some of the different options you can do with this pattern to make the backpack that you like the best. So I made 3 different versions of the backpack. This one was made with linen fabric for the body of the backpack. This one was made with flannel, and this one is made with a baby whale corduroy. All of these are easy to find fabrics, so you can just find one that you like the best. I didn't use any interfacing on this one because the baby whale corduroy is thick enough that I thought it stood up pretty well by itself. I did go ahead and use a fusible interfacing on both this linen fabric and on the flannel, just to give it a little more body so that the backpack was a little less floppy. I used 3 different closure techniques for the backpacks. This one is probably the easiest. I wanted it to make sure that if you couldn't find some of the other options that you would still have a way to make this pretty easily. This one, the closures are just using Velcro. You can see that there. And I put a little button on the outside just to make it look cute, but that's just decorative. You could put a real button on there and a buttonhole if you wanted to. This one is using a little buckle that I found. Love this one. This is probably my favorite. The buckles are meant for scrapbooking, and I found them in the scrapbooking section of Joann, and they are by the Tim Holtz Ideology Company. I paid, I think they were $5.99 or $6.99 list price, but I had a 40% off coupon. So they were pretty affordable considering you get 3 sets of buckles. And I just think they're really cute. They really they're the perfect scale, and they add a great sense of realism to the backpack, which is what I think really makes doll clothes stand out and doll items stand out as the more real they look. So again, I found these at Joann. I think that this brand is also carried by Hobby Lobby, and I found them on Amazon as well. So if you go to the Many Small Friends website, I linked to where those are on Amazon as well if you're looking for them. Lastly, I made this backpack with these little sliders. The closures on this are sliders, and these are also a scrapbooking supply, and they came in this packaging, Spare Parts by Paper Studio, and they're called buckle sliders. I found these about, oh gosh, 8 months ago, and I think I bought them at Hobby Lobby, but I honestly can't remember. But I bet they're still out there, and I didn't find them at Joann, but they're probably still available. But those are really cute, and they add a little extra bling to the backpack. They're made of plastic, so I still like the middle buckle better, but I kind of like the bling that comes with this style. When I was at Joann, I also found this by the Color Block Company, which is also a scrapbooking supply, and they say they're 8 ribbon buckles, but they're made of metal. I think they're really cute too, and they would have worked well for this pattern as well. These were on clearance for 97 cents, so I bought a couple packages of these. So that should give you enough options depending on what you find in your area. I want to tell you a little bit about the trim I used. I really like, this is the look on these of having a trim, and it also made finishing the raw edges super easy. I'm going to do a tutorial on the Many Small Friends website that goes step by step showing you how I did all of this. The pattern has all of the cutout lengths, but it doesn't tell you, the pattern doesn't tell you how to do all this. But I'm going to do a tutorial on the website that will take you step by step how I did it. But I really like the way the trim looks. This trim is it's a faux leather. It's not real. You can see it kind of looks polyesterish on one side, and it looks like leather on the other. And it's a little bit stiff, It's not super flexible. It kind of feels like leather, and I really like the way it looked here on these two. On this bag, I used this, which is a much softer fabric. It's also a polyester. It's got kind of this less pretty side and then this soft suede side. I think it's called a micro suede, but it's also very inexpensive. I found this one at Joann. I found the other one at Walmart on clearance, but you don't need very much. But I thought that made a nice trim as well, and it was very easy to work with. So that would be another trim fabric. If you can't find either of those, you could just use bias tape, or you could make your own bias tape. It really is simple. You can really use a number of things to finish them off. For the closure straps, this is actually, on these two, I used real leather, and that was not only adorable, but very easy. I found this at Hobby Lobby, and it came in a scrap bag called Real Leather Crafts, and there was a variety of different leathers in here. I paid $4.99 for this 8-ounce bag. Again, I used the 40% off coupon. So you get quite a bit in there, and there was different weights. This is kind of a lightweight, flexible leather, which was really super easy to sew. I did not need to use a leather needle. I just used my regular 80-12 universal, and it sewed like a dream. It was no problem at all. But this is really nice because obviously the edges won't fray, so I didn't have to do any finishing. I could just cut out the straps and sew them on, and I think they came out really cute. Before I did that, again, I know not everybody might not be able to find leather scraps. You could also actually, now that I'm thinking of it, if you have an old leather purse or something from the thrift store that you wanted to cut up for leather, that'd be another real great source of inexpensive leather. But if you can't find leather or don't want to use leather, I use the micro suede again just to make straps for this one here. And the measurements on the pattern were as if you need to make the strap yourself, and you actually have to fold it. This one I stitched and turned inside out so that it would hide the seam. There's a couple of different ways you could do that, but the cutting measurements on the pattern are for if you do something like this. If you are cutting the leather, the measurements will be a little different, and I will tell you that in the tutorial that I do on the website as well. So the last thing I wanted to tell you about is this little applique that I did on this linen backpack. This is I made this from some dyed wool jersey that I have, some scraps that are in my stash. And I used Steam-A-Seam 2 to go ahead and put the applique down, which is super easy. You just cut out your pieces, you put the Steam-A-Seam on it, stick it to your whatever you're appliquing, and iron it down. So it's just ironed on, and it came out really cute. I used that for the eyes as well. I actually used my machine to stitch the nose just because I didn't want to cut those little tiny circles yet again. But it came out really cute. That pattern I'm also going to have available free, and it looks like this, and I'm going to give that to my newsletter subscribers, which if you'd like to be a newsletter subscriber, you just go to the ManySmallFriends.com website, and there's a place on the sidebar there for you to sign up for the newsletter, and I'm going to be sending that through. The newsletter is free, patterns are free. This is just my way to hopefully build a community of people that want to play dolls with me. So I have a lot of ideas, and I can't wait to do the sew along so that you can see how these backpacks come together. They're actually a pretty quick project once you have all of your supplies and have gone through the cutting process. I think you could probably put this together in about an hour. Anyway, I hope you like these backpacks, and I hope you'll go to the website to check out the pattern and the sew along. And please go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more American Girl and other doll projects. Thanks a lot!